Welcome to Honeybee Yoga Studio. My name is Lindsay. I release new yoga videos every week. I'd love to have you consider subscribing by hitting that red subscribe button below. And hi Yogis, thanks so much for popping by for a yoga for runners, a recovery flow where we're gonna stay pretty close to the ground. We're really gonna focus on stretching out all of those muscles that maybe we're beginning to work again with the snow melting and our runners hitting the pavement. I won't know until I'm editing this video if you can hear our baby chickens in the background. For those of you that don't know, we have baby chickens this week and they are pretty noisy. I've moved them to another room. They will fall asleep in a couple minutes, but if you can hear chirping right now, I promise it will end eventually. And if you can't hear chirping, you just got to hear a story about our baby chickens. They're pretty darn cute. So for our flow today, if you'd like to grab a yoga strap to lengthen those arms or a brick to help bring the earth a little bit closer to you, let's grab that now. And then when we're ready, we're going to start in a kneeling posture. Tops of our feet pressed into the earth. On our knees, those sit bones heavy. And just taking a couple of breaths to drop into our practice today. Feel that breath flow in and out of your body. Maybe do a gentle little body scan to see if you can identify any areas that need some extra love, some extra attention today. And just keep those areas in mind as we go. Feel free to accommodate, move a little slower, do whatever you need to do to feel fantastic. When we're ready, let's bring those hands down by our side and take 2 big breaths, lifting our fingertips up to the sky. Inhale and reach. Exhale, hands by our hips. One more time, big inhale to reach. And then let's exhale that right hand to come somewhere beside that right hip. Left hand reaches to the right side. Maybe our gaze comes up to the ceiling. That left hip sinks into our left heel. We'll enjoy another breath here before we bring that left hand to come somewhere beside our left hip and our right hand reaches to the left side. Again, that gaze can come up to the ceiling as our right hip gets heavy. Take another breath here before we come back up to seated tall, and then we're going to take our fingertips to come into the earth behind our feet. Let your chest lift, press into long arms, lift that chin, gazing up to the sky. Let's stay here for a couple breaths. Optionally, we can lift one of our knees away from the earth, keeping the top of our foot pressing down into our mats, taking a stretch to that shin. We'll stay for 1 or 2 breaths if we're going from one side before moving to the opposite. Or if you prefer, you can challenge your core a little bit and you can lift both knees at the same time. Either way, we're feeling a nice stretch through our shins, our ankles, but supporting our bodies through those hands. We'll eventually bring both knees back to the earth. Let's walk those hands forward. Coming into our version of tabletop for a few rounds of cat-cow. Let's take those toes, let's tuck them into the earth, lifting our heels. And then when we're ready, inhaling into our happy little cow, gaze lifts, belly button drops. And then exhaling into our angry cat as our gaze drops and our spine lifts. Let's move at our own pace. You can go as slowly or as energetically as your body might be asking for. Let's take about 2 more rounds. And then we're going to walk our hands back towards our knees. Bring our hands to our hips. Let's extend that right leg to the right side. Inhale, both hands tall. Exhale that right hand to walk down your right leg. Left arm reaches to the right side. Maybe that gaze comes up to the ceiling as we keep both hips pressing forward. Another long breath. And then we'll take that exhale to bring those hands to come in front of our right leg. So kind of like if we were on a clock, our hands are coming towards 2 o'clock. Those hips continue to pull behind you as we walk our fingertips forward. We melt our chest, our chin towards the earth in a kind of modified puppy. Another breath here. Feel that back body open, space comes into those shoulder blades. Then we'll use the exhale to make our way back to a neutral tabletop. That right knee comes in. And then either from here or once we walk our hands up to our hips, we'll extend that left leg to the left side. Another inhale to reach our arms tall before exhaling that left hand onto our left leg. Right arm pulls to that left side. Again, our gaze lifts and we keep both hips pressing forward. Inhaling to reach. Long exhales. Eventually that gaze comes just above our left foot. Our hands make our way to the earth, maybe around 10 or 11 o'clock. And then we'll walk those fingertips away from our hips as our tailbone pulls behind us. Chest and forehead melt into our modified puppy. So as we continue to move, we'll see if we can keep this kind of gentle flow, connection to our breath. Our body does a lot of hard work when we're running, so hopefully this allows our body the space and the time to rest and recover. And maybe stretch out some of those sore muscles. We'll slowly start to make our way back to a neutral tabletop. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Let's start to walk those knees behind us, melting through our arms. Our belly button, our chest comes to the earth. Hands come under our shoulders. We'll begin to lengthen those arms, coming into our version of Cobra. We're going to hang out here for a few breaths, so there's no pressure to lengthen those arms all the way. We're simply lifting away from the earth, starting to bring a back bend into our low spine. Opening through our abdomen. Let's take another big inhale. And then to exhale, we'll melt forward, tuck our toes, bend through our knees, lift those knees off of the earth, and meet in our version of downwards facing dog. So we're pressing those hands into the earth, our tailbones pulling to the wall behind us, We can have a gentle or generous bend in our knees. We'll take a few breaths to walk our dogs. So we're alternating bending our knees and pressing our heel towards the earth. Kind of like we're walking on the spot. We're going to come to stillness. Really press those heels towards the floor, lift the tailbone, feel those hamstrings stretch. Then we'll lift our right heel up to the sky. Want to keep equal weight on both of our hands, reaching that right foot behind us. Big stretch with a big breath. And as we exhale, we're going to step that right foot all the way forward to our right hand. Drop that left knee to the floor and lift into your version of low lunge. We can bring those hands to our right thigh. If we have a block, we can have our hands on the block to the inside of that right foot. Let's hang out here for a breath. Or maybe 4. And it's up to you. If you keep your hands and your body to the inside of your right foot, you might feel more of a stretch through your left hip flexor. If you keep your hands lifted on that right thigh, you might feel more of a stretch through the inside of those thighs. So feel free to wiggle and adjust and stretch whatever needs stretching. Let's bring those hands to heart center, pressing our hands together in prayer. As we inhale, the crown of our head lifts. Maybe we lift a little bit out of that front right knee. And as we exhale, we're going to start to bring that left elbow towards the outside of our right knee. If we make it, maybe we're going to press that left elbow in for a little bit of leverage to continue opening our body to the right side. Our hands are pressing. Maybe that gaze comes out our right shoulder. Hopefully we're feeling a really nice stretch through our left hip flexor here. Another big inhale. And then exhale, bring both of our hands to the inside of that right foot. We have a few options in our version of lizard. We're going to start to heel toe our right foot out to the right side. Maybe our right toes go the furthest. Now we can stay with our left arm long. Take that right hand, press it into our right knee. Maybe that feels fantastic. Or alternatively, you can start to bend into that left elbow, coming onto your left forearm, followed by your right. So it's whichever version is giving you that opening, giving you the stretch that you're looking for. If at any time that breath feels tight or restricted, maybe consider easing out of whatever posture you're in, whatever option you're taking. Let that breath flow with a bit more ease, a bit more comfort. Now, last option in our lizard. You can hang out right where you are, or you can press both hands long one final time, arms long, bending into that left knee behind us, reaching our right hand behind us to connect with that left ankle. This is a really deep stretch through your left thigh, your left hip flexor. So again, completely optional, maybe using your strap to help connect that hand to foot. Let's take one more big breath. Then we'll unwind ourselves to downwards facing dog. And we'll enjoy all that goodness on the opposite side. So in our down dog, let's take a couple breaths to shimmy from side to side, walk our dogs. That left hip is probably feeling some feels. Eventually that left heel will reach back up to the sky. Really reaching it away from us, pressing into both of our hands. And then as we exhale, that left foot comes up beside our left hand, right knee to the earth, making our way to our low lunge. So again, option to bring our hands to the inside of our left foot, sink forwards. Option to bring our hands to that left thigh, sinking down. Maybe we're using our blocks to bring the earth a little bit closer to our hands. Whatever feels good. Long breaths. With each exhale, maybe sinking a little deeper, releasing some tension we're holding somewhere. Eventually, we'll feel those hands come to prayer, pressing together at our heart center. On the inhale, we'll feel our long spine, and then bring that right elbow to the outside of our left knee. Those hands continue to press in together. If we've connected that knee to elbow, maybe we're also pressing that connection to leverage our gaze to come out that left side. Maybe our gaze comes all the way behind us. We'll enjoy one more breath before releasing our hands to the inside of that left foot. Heel toeing that left foot to the outside of our left side of our mat. Moving once again into our version of lizard. And each side of our body is different, so there's no pressure to do exactly the same thing as you did on the other side. In fact, I would encourage you to explore the space, see what feels good, see maybe what feels different. So again, that right hand can stay pressing in the earth, and maybe our left hand presses into our left knee, sinking those hips forward. Or, other option, maybe both of our hands stay towards the mat. We come onto those forearms. Let's take a couple more breaths. And remember, the tension that our body builds while we're exercising, while we're running, isn't just in the muscles we feel, but often in the muscles we don't feel. I know when I run, I hold a lot of tension through my shoulder blades for some reason, like I'm clenching my arms. So I'm trying to send my breath to my whole body, trying to feel that relaxation from head to toe, that stretch, and all that space. Eventually those hands will come nice and tall. We have that option to bend into our back right knee and then reach that left hand behind us. And again, it's completely up to you. If you'd like to take this variation, maybe using a yoga strap to connect your hand to this ankle, bring a bit more space. It's whatever feels good. Another big inhale. As we exhale, let's bring that left hand back to the earth. We're going to bring our left knee beside our right. Open them wide, big toes to kiss. Walk our hands forward, melt forward. Hips are heavy behind us as we relax in our child's posture. So maybe checking in with those hips, those thighs, our knees, shins and ankles, kind of the common culprits for any tension or tightness we might feel from running. After another big breath, we'll slowly make our way back into downwards facing dog. Lifting that right heel up to the sky. Take any organic movement here that might feel good. Maybe bending into the knee, maybe making some circles. Whatever feels good for your body. Before stepping that right knee forward to come into pigeon. That right knee rests on the mat behind our right hand. Right foot somewhere in line behind our left hand. Long left leg behind us. Feel the majority of that weight on the outside of our right calf, back left leg. And let's slowly melt forward, maybe coming onto forearms, coming onto a brick. Maybe we keep our arms long, release our chin towards the earth. Whatever feels good. As we hang out here, we try to keep that outside of our right hip, our right bum cheek are off of the earth. Trying to keep those hips next to each other. We're going to take 4 breaths, long breaths. Let's bring those hands underneath our shoulders, lengthen our arms, tuck that back left toe so you can lift that left knee off the earth and then step our right foot behind us, hanging out in our downwards facing dog, just to walk our dogs, pedal our feet, bend those knees, and then make our way to the opposite side. So we'll lift that left heel up to the sky. Once again, taking any organic movements here, any circles, bending through that knee, whatever feels good. Then we'll step that left knee to fall behind our left hand, left foot to fall somewhere behind our right hand, long right leg behind us. And right away, we'll melt forward, whatever version kind of feels good for us. And just like before, because something felt good on one side, it might feel a little different on the other. So take some time to explore the space before we settle in once again for about 4 long breaths. Seeing if we can keep those thoughts following our breath. Sending that exhale to any areas that might be feeling extra tightness or soreness. Feel those hands start to come underneath our shoulders, lifting tall. This time to transition, we're going to pull up ourselves onto that left bum cheeker, swing our right leg forward. Bend into both of those knees, bringing the soles of our feet into the earth. Hold those hands on our shins so we can pull our chest forward, open through our collarbone, lift our chin. Then as we exhale, we're going to slowly make our way all the way onto our spines. Let those legs go long. We'll take any shimmies, maybe rocking our toes like windshield wipers back and forth, just to flush out after that extended pigeon on both sides. Then let's hug that right knee into our chest. If your low spine's being a little chatty, we can always bend into our left knee and bring the left sole of the foot into the floor. But if it feels okay, we'll keep that left leg long. Keeping those hands behind our thigh, let's extend our right heel up to the sky. Really press that right heel away as your toes pull towards your knee. Using that right hand for support, we're going to open that right leg to the right side. Option to reach towards those right toes, holding on with your right hand. Continue to flex that foot. That left hand is maybe holding onto your left hip, making sure that left hip or that left bum cheeker stays on the earth. Another breath here. Before let's bringing another breath here. Then let's lift that right foot back up to the sky. We'll exchange hands. So our left hand is holding on to that right foot or holding on behind our thigh. And we're going to support that right foot coming all the way over onto our left side. This time that right hip is going to lift, and that's perfectly fine. Maybe our gaze comes out along right arm to the right side. Big breath here. We'll slowly come back, bringing that right hip to the earth, and let's exchange those legs. So we'll take some long legs for just a moment before bringing that left knee into our chest. Again, option to bend through our right knee. Then let's extend that left heel up to the sky, pulling those left toes towards our shin. Using our left hand for support, we'll open that left leg to the left side. Again, maybe those left fingertips hold on to that left big toe. Right hand to our right hip. Let's take another breath or two. And then we're going to lift that left foot up to the sky, exchanging our hands, and then encouraging that left leg to come over top of our right hip. So this time our left arm is maybe stretching to the left side, maybe our gaze is coming out the left side. We feel that stretch go through our entire torso. Not just the spine, not just the back body, but feel it go through that front body, through your abdomen. One final breath before we come back through neutral. Let's bring the soles of our feet into the earth, a little bit closer than they would fall naturally. We'll take a second to settle, maybe wiggle and adjust. Those hands come by our side. Let's take a big inhale, and as you exhale, pressing into those feet to lift our hips away from the earth, coming into bridge. We're going to do this 2 more times. Exhaling to slowly lower back to the earth. And the second time, we're going to remain lifted for a few breaths. So again, exhaling to press to lift. Inhaling at the top. And then exhale to lower. So this time, once we lift, we're going to stay lifted. Inhaling for strength before we exhale, pressing through those feet, pressing through our heels, lifting our hips tall. Now, option to clasp those hands underneath your tailbone, opening through your shoulders, maybe stacking your body on top of those triceps, whatever feels good for you. But I'm going to take it a bit more passive, just hang out here for 1 or 2 more breaths. Enjoy our last or second last posture before we enjoy Shavasana. We'll take that full exhale to lower. As that tailbone touches the floor, we'll bring the soles of our feet together, knees go wide. And we find our version of reclined butterfly. I like to bring my hands to my belly so I can connect with that breath, feel it flowing in and out. Two more big breaths, and then you can either stay here for our final resting posture, or you can extend your legs long into a traditional Shavasana. Big inhale and exhale when you get there. As we come into our final resting posture, I'll really encourage you to let your mind drift away. Hopefully throughout your practice, you've been really focusing on your breath, feeling your breath as it flows, feeling your muscles as they stretch. So let's take the next 8 breaths to just let our mind drift. Just let it float around. And if you have any thoughts that come by, just let them pass on by like a cloud on a windy day. Let's bring a wiggle to our toes, to our fingertips. Let's take a big inhale, open our mouths, let that exhale escape. With our next inhale, we'll bring movement into our wrists, our elbows, our knees, our ankles. Maybe take a full body stretch. We'll slowly make our way onto one side so we can gently lift ourselves up and meet in a seated posture. And nothing fancy and no rush. Take all of the time you need. Bring those hands to our sides and we'll close our practice with 2 big breaths. Big inhale to reach. And exhale, hands come by our sides. One more time, big inhale to reach. This time our hands come together and melt through center all the way to our hearts. We'll close our practice with a bow for ourselves and a bow for our practice. Thanks so much for joining me for this stretch. I hope that runner's body feels fantastic, all stretched out in the right places. If you want to hang out on your mat for 6 more minutes, I highly recommend doing this meditation video. It's the perfect way to wrap up your practice and get ready for the rest of your day. If you enjoyed this little flow, please let me know by giving the video a thumbs up. Leave me a message down below, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Bye.